One of the coolest and most fascinating mods that I ended up buying for my 2014 Mustang is this Alcatera steering wheel. But
it came with a little bit of issues.
Nobody gives a shit.
So when you hear the word Alcatera, you expect it to be high quality. But unfortunately, as you guys could probably imagine, when you buy stuff off eBay, it's really not always high quality. What? I will say within the first few months of having this aftermarket Alcatera cover steering wheel shit, it actually was great. I loved the feeling of it. It looked very, very nice. I love the way that when I walked into the car that, well, I walked into the car. But the biggest complaint that I have, and I know all of you guys will be the exact same way when I tell you guys this, is that the quality on it sucks. When I say sucks, I mean
sucks.
Bad. Let me show you guys. And this is that sandpaper shit that I was talking to you guys about. Compared to this side and this side where my hand usually touches, this is more rough than this is, and you can clearly tell the color difference between each side. It's just more about the visual looks of it. When you get into the car and the first thing you see is this roughed up steering wheel, it looks like shit. And I can't stand looking at it. That's just one side of it. Then you go up here and you can see it's also chipping as well. So if you had rings on or if you just end up grabbing it with your nail, you will see that it's gonna start peeling up. And I kind of already expected this when going ahead and purchasing this Alcatera steering wheel. How is it holding up? Is it like ripping apart to the point where I'm like having to glue everything back together?
No.
But I will say sewing it on was actually pretty difficult. I'm not a sewer. I don't know how to do that at all. And that was my first time ever sewing anything. So there was some spots where I kind of got lazy and like dabbed some super glue in there, which don't do, please. But I definitely wanted to warn you guys about this, considering the fact that this steering wheel, even though it really wasn't expensive by any means, and it looks great when you have the carbon fiber accents on there, and also when this Alcantara is brand new. And if you're good at sewing and you don't mind going ahead and replacing this material every like 6 months to a year, then it really won't become an issue. But eventually that money will add up, and it just starts becoming more of a nuisance than it does become of actually looking good. Ooh, that's right. Something I do want to point out with you guys. Even here too, this material wasn't big enough to wrap all the way around, or at least my experience wasn't really that great either. But I do play with it in traffic, I ain't even gonna lie, where I'm just flapping up on it, and okay, I'll just stop there. The steering wheel looks great. Even from a distance, it looks a lot better than the stock steering wheel. If you plan on having this as a long-term investment, I don't, investment like as an asset.
Take two.
I don't really think that it's a good idea, because you're gonna go ahead and keep replacing this over and 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 over again before you just get sick and tired of it and you're just like, fuck it, I just want to go buy a new steering wheel. And that's eventually what I'll do here. I'm a really big fan of the ones that have like the digital gauge up here, but that's also another like $400 or something like that, which I know I sound like a brokey right now, but it gets pricey, trust me. There's a lot of other mods I would like to do before I go ahead and get a steering wheel, so this is the least of my issues, so let's just say that. And one last thing that I do want to mention is later.